Hey everyone, I'm Jake, and this is Money Mondays. So I noticed there's some fear with people about meeting with a financial planner for the first time and kind of what that looks like and what the whole experience of working with a financial planner is. And it's keeping a lot of people from actually getting the financial help that they need because they're too afraid to actually get started and go contact someone to say, hey, I need to sit down and talk about my finances, or I need to get started working towards these things. And so I want to make a video that kind of talks about what it looks like to actually work with a financial planner, what the first meeting looks like, and kind of what subsequent meetings from then on would look like, so that maybe it'll kind of dispel some of that anxiety or that fear about sitting down with someone, or at least contacting someone to get started. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what meeting with me for the first time looks like, but really it's very similar for any financial planner, whether it's an investment advisor or a broker or anybody that's trying to get your financial life in order, anybody that's actually trying to help you get your finances together. The kind of process looks very similar. So the first thing that happens is you're going to contact us in some way, and there's actually a link on our website where you can send us an email straight from the website. You just put in your information and send us an email, and you can ask us any questions you want about your financial concerns or any needs that you have. I'll put a link actually right here in annotation, so you can go to our website and you can see exactly what it is. But there's also a link on there where you can set up a Skype meeting or an in-person, a face-to-face meeting to actually sit down and talk to us, and we'll kind of look through your finances and see if there's some ways that we can help you and if we'd be a good fit to work together. So assuming that you kind of know that you need financial help, most of the people that come to us either with a specific concern, like they know they have a low credit score that they want to improve, or they know their debts are getting out of hand and they really need to kind of get on top of them and start paying some down, but they want to do that in an efficient way. Sometimes we get people who don't know their specific needs. They don't know that, hey, I need to get this type of thing done, but they do know I need to be an adult now and kind of take over my finances and do something, and I don't know what it is I need doing. So we get some people contacting us that don't have a specific need also. But basically, people will contact us and say, I know that I need to work with a financial planner for some reason, and we'll say, great, let's meet up. If there's someone that lives in the Chico area, Chico, California, that's where we're located. If somebody that lives near us, we'll say, great, let's meet up, let's go to a coffee shop, we'll go sit down, we'll buy you a drink, and we'll talk about what kind of goals you have or what your concerns are. So that's the first thing. After you contact us, then we say, okay, let's meet up, we schedule a time. Or you might schedule a time with us. We'll schedule a time, we'll go meet, we'll say, hey, how's it going? And we'll sit down, we'll talk. The first meeting is really just get to know you. It's about what's going on in your life, what goals and concerns do you have about your finances, and where can we offer some assistance. So the first thing someone might have when they come to meet with us is they say, oh, I have student loans that are keeping me up at night, and I'm worried I'm going to get a judgment against me, or I'm going to get in default or something like that. And so we could respond with, yeah, that's something that we can work with. We can, help you address your student loans. We can figure out, what's the best repayment plan, or what's, how we can get your payments down really low, or maybe look at forgiveness or anything like that. And so, that might be the first thing that we look at. We go sit down at the coffee shop and we talk about it. But it could be, really vague and, general type things. You say, I'm really worried about my finances. I know I have a lot of debt. I know I have a low credit score, and I just don't know what to do. And so we might just sit down with that and say, okay, well, let's get a list of things together. We can say, what are your debts, and what is on your credit file? And maybe we pull a credit report and say, okay, here are all the things that are, working against you that we might be able to address. So the first meeting is it might not usually get that detailed as far as actually getting that information, but it's just, the first meeting is just about sitting down to gather what is important to you. What things do we need to address for you to make you feel better? And then we can really get into what's the most efficient way of doing that, and what things do you really need to be the most financially successful person that you can be. So a lot of the first meeting actually centers around some paperwork. The first thing that we give you we're called a registered investment advisor, and we're required by law to give you what's called an ADV form. So our ADV spells out all the stuff about our company that you could ever want to know. It's got our background information, it has how we charge our fees and the services we offer. It's got a bunch of information about the risks associated with investing, because we have to disclose all the possible things that could go wrong with your investments. Investments go down, they go up, they go all over the place, and that's part of saving for retirement. And so we disclose a lot of that information in our ADV form. But we also have an advising agreement, and that's basically our contract that says, here are the exact things that we're going to do for you, and here's how much you're going to pay for that. And then it spells out some of the other legal stuff as far as what our responsibilities are and what your responsibilities are as a client. And it's pretty straightforward. It's written in legal language, but at least it gets the point across of the things that we're going to do for you, and then how much you're going to pay for that. And then just to kind of round out the paperwork side of it, we have a statement of ethics that says these are the things that we will not do because it violates our ethical guidelines. And we have not everyone has, but we have what's called a Fiduciary Pledge, and we put that specifically in there to tell our clients, to make it explicit that we act as a fiduciary for your finances, because all the things that we do need to be in your best interests, and not all financial advisors work in their clients' best interests. And so we make that fiduciary pledge, and we've signed an agreement for you that says we will always act in your best interests, and we will uphold these guidelines that establish us as a fiduciary. And so we have, our statement of ethics, we have our fiduciary pledge, we have our advising agreement, which is our contract, and we have our ADV form. And those are the main things that we give to you, that we provide for you at our first meeting, so that you kind of get all of the information that's associated with working with us, so you kind of know everything going into it. And there's one other document that we use that's not really given to you. It's kept for our records, and we call a fact finder, and we use that to answer a bunch of questions about your life. And so when we're asking you all these different questions about your financial fears and concerns, and your goals and your dreams and your wishes and all these things, we take notes in our fact finder to make sure that we have all of the relevant information. And basically it's just a guide to make sure we don't miss anything important. And it's just one question that leads to the next, and it goes on, and we just want to make sure that there's nothing being overlooked. And our fact finder is designed to get all the relevant information and really ask you questions about what it is that you want to get out of our relationship as a client financial advisor relationship. And you don't become a client at the first meeting. It's really just an information gathering. It's where we can kind of see what issues are biggest concerns to you, and then what issues can we help you with. What those concerns, what can we do as services to help you, and then give you. Some people get kind of overwhelmed with the amount of information that's provided at the first meeting, because there's just so much. It's a kind of a stack of papers and all that kind of stuff. And so we try to take it slow and make it really clear about what we're doing, so that it's not too overwhelming for somebody. But occasionally it can be, because it's just a lot of paperwork and a lot of information to get at once. And so we go very slow with it, and we say, okay, here's kind of how the next meeting will work, and if you want to be a client of ours, then here's what you need to do. And basically you can just sign on our advising agreement and kind of proceed from there. And we'll say, okay, here are the next steps that we'll take. And depending on whatever your situation is, you may have debts, you may have credit, you may have investment needs, you may have all kinds of different things, and we'll take the best next steps depending on specific needs of yours. And then moving on, after our first meeting, our next meetings, our second and third, if you decide to sign on as a client, then we're going to start addressing all those concerns that were brought up at the first meeting. And so we'll still be gathering information as time goes on. We'll get more and more information from you, but we'll be having that first meeting. The information gathered from that first meeting will direct us in the way to go to make sure that we're addressing all of your concerns and really getting on top of what it is that you need. So that's basically what meeting with a financial planner for the first time looks like. Pretty much every financial planner is going to be very similar first meeting. It's just how they progress from that first meeting forward is what differentiates a lot of financial planners from each other. Also some of their philosophy in finance, if you can call it that, how they plan to address certain things. If you have multiple debts, some people like to do like the snowball method, is Dave Ramsey's style, where you start with small debts and you work your way up until you're at your biggest debts. Whereas other financial planners like to do the traditional method of paying your highest interest rate and you work your way down to your lowest interest rate. And there's different philosophies associated with financial planning, and that's where you're going to get a difference with financial planners. Is everybody starts the first meeting with fact finders and ADV forms and gathering information, and here's what our contract looks like, and that's basically the same no matter who you're working with. But then from moving on forward is where you're going to get a lot of differentiation between what different advisors can offer and really what their skill level is. So hopefully that clears up a lot of the thoughts and concerns about what it looks like to meet with a financial planner for the first time. I'm hoping that dispels a lot of fears and anxiety. The biggest thing that people have that they're afraid of when they're meeting with their financial planner, or with they're debating whether to meet with a financial planner for the first time, is I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I have enough money to really warrant having a financial planner, or if my concerns may be too complex for their skill level or something like that. But I want to communicate that meeting with a financial planner for the first time is not an obligation of anything. It's just really about data gathering. Both on our end, we're getting information about you, but you should be getting information about me, about us, about whatever financial planner that you're meeting with. You should be asking them, what services do you specialize in? What things do you do that can really benefit me? Because if you're going to be working with somebody, you want to make sure that they can really help you in the way that you need. And it's a great idea to meet with more than one financial planner and meet with a couple of them. Just like if you were getting married and you meet with multiple photographers to decide which is the best photographer for your needs, you should meet with a financial planner to decide which one's the best for you. Because they're gonna be working with you probably for a long time to make sure that all of your financial needs are taken care of. You want to be working with somebody that you can get along with and that you communicate well with. And so that's the first meeting. It should not be about nervousness or anxiety. It should really be just about learning and beginning the process and getting started and seeing where you can go. And those kinds of things. So hopefully that clears up a lot of the fears and anxiety about it. If you have any questions at all, feel free to contact us at our website, arbogastadvisors.com. If you go to the Contact Us button at the top, you can send us an email straight from there, or you can set up a Skype meeting. You can talk to us, and we'll clear up, without even having to be a sales thing of like try to work with us or anything like that. If you just want to get some information about what it's like to work with a financial planner, feel free to contact us, or just comment below. Comment in the comment section below this video with any general questions you have about financial planning. If you want to work with us, then you can also do that from visiting our website. Or if you just want to see other YouTube videos about other financial planning topics, we do Money Mondays every Monday. So check out youtube.com/arbogastadvisors. You can see all of our Money Monday episodes and all of our other videos about all kinds of financial topics. So that's that. Thanks for watching. And I noticed that there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of misconceptions about what credit scores are and about how to improve one if yours isn't very good. So I wanted to make a video about credit scores and about how to fix yours if you don't have a good one. So let's start off with what a credit score is. It's just a measure of how good you are at using debt. Companies that measure credit scores do so to determine how good you are at paying